Breaking news, Panini's license agreement with the NFL Players Association has been cancelled by the NFLPA effective immediately. This has some serious concerns around Panini's eligibility to produce cards in the immediate future. I'm going to share that with you right now and talk through a few interesting things that I think some others might not delve into. Now, this was broken by Darren Ravel via an email that went out to agents from the NFLPA a few moments ago. This is very, very breaking news. Now, as you can see, the wording in the email is pretty explicit. It says, "Dear Contract Advisor, NFL Players Incorporated," which I believe is what the Inc. stands for, "has terminated its trading card agreement with Panini. Effective immediately, Fanatics has the exclusive right to make NFLPA branded trading cards. This decision has no impact on any individual player's contractual agreements with Panini," because some players have, signing agreements with them. "If you represent any players with an existing Panini agreement, the NFLPA recommends that you encourage the player to fulfill his contractual commitments to Panini," and then basically reach out to Sophie if there are any questions, hence all the Sophie jokes in the comments below. But this is, again, very interesting and pretty alarming for Panini because it seems unclear as to what this means for the product they currently have on hand, for the product that's about to be released in their pipeline, and obviously also what this means for the immediate future in general. Now, I've seen a lot of questions already online around what this actually means for Panini. Now, from what I recall, we've had instances in the past where manufacturers have lost a license with a sporting entity, i.e. the MLB, the NFL, etc., but they've maintained the Players Association agreement, which allowed them to still make licensed products. Now, I'm not sure if that is the case in this instance. We need, obviously, a bit more information, but I think it's another shot across the bow from Fanatics to Panini, especially with this lawsuit going on, that is basically there to say, hey guys, we're not even done messing around with you yet, there's more to come. And I think we might see some of these other entities, i.e. the NBA Players Association, follow suit in the coming days or weeks. So don't be surprised if you do also see that, because I think if you look at the general consensus as to what Fanatics has done from a marketing perspective and all this, stuff that Michael Rubin has himself done, has maybe highlighted to some of these players that they're getting a bit of a raw deal from the likes of Panini. Now, in reality, whether that is actually happening or not is unclear. I don't think Fanatics is going to make things any better in that regard, but it's one that we just sort of have to watch this space kind of thing. But to go back to what I said about, the differences between the Players Association licenses and then also the league license, we might still be in a position here where Panini can produce licensed cards, but just not have autographs of the players that are not part of a specific contractual agreement with them, i.e. those of them that are in the Players Association that are now exclusive to Fanatics based on that email we just discussed. Now, if that is the case, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's something that I'd actually like to see. I think it would be good to have licensed product coming from Fanatics and Panini at the same time. But obviously, this information is pretty damn unclear because it doesn't really go into that sort of detail. So I think we need to sort of wait for more information. But, competition is something that I've called for in this space altogether, many times in the past, I should say. Now, some of you might say this, and I've seen the comments already saying this is a good thing, right? Stuff Panini, Fanatics is going to save the day. The one thing about this is I don't think Fanatics is ready to take on these licenses right here, right now. Because if you look at the issues we've discussed previously with regards to the MLB license and the mistakes they've made with tops, right? With hits being missing from product, right? Rookie cards not being included in the sets that don't get discussed or disclosed to us as customers. You've had autographs go missing. You've had issues where you've had poor QC. You've had issues with their zero cool range and the Stranger Things cards where, release dates have been pushed back. They've had no marketing, all this sort of stuff. I just don't know if they have the infrastructure to take this on and make a difference. I think you're going to see Fanatics come in, and I think for the most part, you're going to see the same issues that we're seeing, with Panini. Fanatics have also shown pretty clear in the last 6 to 12 months that their want and their need to reduce overprinting and maintain scarcity and all that sort of stuff isn't really there either, because they've already come out with things like negative parallels and adding in more redemptions and all that sort of stuff. So all the things that people are complaining about from Panini are already there with Fanatics. And I just don't know if this is going to be something that Fanatics can take on right now and do a good job with. Now, this is all just speculation and me just talking, but I think I just want to say, as I've always said, be careful what you wish for in this instance, because, Panini's bad, but I think Fanatics is bad too. And yes, they could get to a point where they're really good for the industry and all that sort of stuff, but I'm not sure if that is the case. So I think the too long didn't read is just keep front of mind, this might not actually impact Panini's ability to produce licensed cards. It might impact their ability to produce licensed cards of certain players. It more importantly, might impact them in the ability to produce cards of autographs for those players rather than those players being missing altogether. So just want to quickly get this out there to you. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. As I said, we've got examples in the past with, I think, the MLB where, you know, Players Association licenses were maintained, league license was lost. Both licenses, both products could be produced concurrently. So I think this is not as doom or gloom as it looks like right now, but it's very interesting. I think one final thing I wanted to add on this as well is it pretty clearly looks like the NFLPA are the ones to have cancelled this agreement. So I'm curious to see what kind of compensation Panini would have got off the back of this, or whether this Players Association has found something in the T's and C's in this agreement with Panini that Panini have done something or not done something that they should have, which has allowed the Players Association to walk away, you know, scot-free. And if that is the case, that is another big bloody blunder from the likes of Panini, because this is something that could be the nail in their coffin, in my opinion. And I can't recall if I mentioned earlier, but don't be surprised if you see the NBA Players Association follow suit really quickly, because my gut feeling would be that Fanatics is driving this in some capacity. Now, that would likely be an illegal thing to do, so I don't think it's ever going to come front of mind or come to the public eye. But my opinion, my inkling would be that, you know, this is a brutal war that's basically going on between the likes of Fanatics and Panini, and I think something like this is going to basically put the extra money in Fanatics' pocket and make them basically kill Panini one step quicker. So share your comments down below, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.